Hello, everybody. Mrs. Oliveris here, and I'm coming to you because we are about to embark on the next 7 days of our midwinter recess. And I know we're going to be spending a lot of extra time together. So, a strategy that keeps coming up to me is the deep breathing strategy. Because, like you, I'm going to be home with my two daughters this week. And there's definitely going to come times for all of us where we're going to feel frustrated. And by frustration, that just basically means we want the moment to be different than it is. And that brings up a lot of big feelings. So, the strategy that I teach my daughters, that I teach my students, your children, is a deep breathing technique where we breathe in for 4 seconds, we hold for 4 seconds, and then we release. And what that looks like is this: breathe in for 4, hold for 4, and then release. When we breathe, it's important to remember that we do not breathe through our chest. We don't want to do chest breathing because that will only activate more anxiety. We want to make sure that we're doing a deep belly breath so that we can actually visually see our diaphragms rising and knowing that the air is filling up in our lungs. And when we do that, that activates our parasympathetic nervous system, which is basically the calming system of the body, puts us into a calm state from a fight or flight response. So, also important to note that when we breathe out, when we take that last breath out, it needs to be a slow and steady breath. What I tell the children is to imagine that they have a straw in between their lips and they're breathing through the straw. We don't want them to do a burst of breath. We want it to be a slow, steady push out. Really, also that making sure that that out breath is a little bit longer than the inhale. Again, activating the parasympathetic part of the nervous system. Um, when we practice this strategy, we should practice it when the children don't need it. So whenever we're learning a new skill, that goes for everything. Whenever we're learning a new skill, it's important that we all are practicing it when we don't need the skill. This way, it shows up when we do. So what would that look like for us? So let's say you're in your car, you're at the kitchen table, or maybe you're cuddling on the couch, and you'd say to your child, you know, your teacher was telling me about some kind of deep breathing that you do in class, where it's like 4 breaths in, and then you hold, and then you breathe through a straw or something. Can you teach me that strategy? Or can we practice it together? So there you are on the couch, and you're practicing a few rounds of that. Or maybe you do it in the car. Practicing it when you don't need it is really important. Also, the reason why it's really important is because we need to be able to teach our children or show our children that when frustration does show up for us, we can experience frustration with calm and safety. And so we're kind of teaching them that. And we might even say, "Hey, you know what? Practicing this deep breathing with you is so great. It actually makes me feel like a better parent. I just feel so calm." Like that might be a strategy. Like, how empowering is that? Also, let's say for example during this break you have an experience where your child is feeling a great amount of frustration. So what you would do is in that moment, like let's say they're trying to do something and you could tell, you already know when they're starting to boil up and maybe you hear the whining or whatever the trigger is, you kind of just look to the side, don't look at them, just look to the side, and you do the belly breathing. So you're kind of modeling it for them, but not directly at them. You look to the side. It's almost as if you're practicing the belly breathing. And then it reminds them, oh, yeah, I have a strategy for this. I don't know if it's the magic bullet the first time, the second time, but if we do it enough and we practice it enough together, again, it will remind us that when frustration shows up, we could do it in a space where there's calm and there's safety. So I hope that this strategy helps out this week. I know it's going to help me tremendously. I use it all the time. And what I love so much about deep breathing is that it's free, it doesn't cost anything, and it's always available to us. So I hope this helps, and I wish you a wonderful break with your child and your children and your families. And I'll see you soon. Bye.